10:01. This meeting is called to order. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. We are happy to have you. We're going to go ahead and run through the attendance for trustees. Nick, go ahead and sound off. Send it down this way.
Nick Carlisle here.
Hazel Nesbitt here.
Craig Kidman here.
John Kimack here.
Tracy Harris here.
Bob Whiter here.
Mike Williams present.
Fantastic. So kind of running through some things this morning. We got a lot to cover. As you all are aware, it is voting day, and we do have some candidates that will be given an opportunity to come up and speak. Where are the candidates, aside from the obvious?
I don't see it on here.
Where's Rebecca Jane? There she is. All right. Greg, are you going to speak today? Are you going to get up there? Are you going to share a few words?
I don't care.
It's up to you. I'm not gonna force you to.
Okay, I'll talk.
What are you sharing?
John, you want to get up there too, right? Don't.
We're going to do the pledge.
Hey, don't forget to pledge allegiance.
I won't forget it. Thank you. So let's get this thing kicked off. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty.
Hey, we get to make up the speech. I bet you did busy.
I mean, well, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Okay, sorry.
It's up to you.
I'll do it.
All right. So we're going to start off by allowing candidates to kind of come up and speak their piece. So Rebecca Jane, we're going to start with you, dear. Come on up.
I got somebody coming out.
Floor is yours, dear.
Hi. I'm Rebecca Hausman, also known as Becky Jane. So, I guess another election day's here, and I kind of raised the question, how do I go about getting your vote? So I asked a very wise individual, how do I do this? And this individual said, you know, it's not about selling yourself. You know, it's about getting your ideas known and letting people know what you stand for. So I'll tell you, and I kind of posted this on the page as well, but I'll tell you what I stand for. I'm very loud, I'm loving, I'm protective of the people I care for. I can be very emotional, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm very nerdy. I love to read books, I love to learn. I think knowledge has a lot of power behind it. I'm not political oriented, I'm a people person. I stand up for what I believe is right based on the morals and ethics that were taught to me by my parents. And that was in a Christian loving home. I'm huge on safety, but also know that I like to have a good time. If I see a kid doing something they shouldn't, I'm probably going to tell them they need to knock it off. And I'm going to expect you to do the same thing to my kids. You know, I don't want anybody getting hurt. Hold on just a second. Lost my spot, hold on. I am a huge advocate and I promote safety, but I also know that people like to have a good time and we all do that in different ways. And my version of safe may be different than your version of safe. I may recommend something. You may not agree with it. I just ask that you respect it as I will respect yours. Like I said, we all find different ways to relax and enjoy life. I don't expect that everyone is going to appreciate my ideas, but I do hope that they will be heard. My goal is to build a relationship of mutual respect with the owners when it comes to the best interests and futures of Woodland Lakes. I'm very family focused. General planning is always inclusive of my children. I have 5, and they are the greatest gift I have ever received. I love to sing, and I will sing until I'm no longer able. It's often loud and off key, but I will do it until I cannot do it anymore. I love to fish, and I love to be outside, and I love to be with my family and play cards, and that is what I love to come down here and do. I'm a nurse, and from the day I started my job, I wanted to change the world. And I may not be able to solve the looming issues of the world, but with very small acts of kindness and humility. And so I can change the parts of the world that I can see. This is endless work, and I have no plans of stopping anytime soon. I try to be the best version of myself. Some days I struggle, and some days I exceed that expectation. I'm offering you my time, my energy, and these core values: honesty, respect, humor, and willingness to listen to the community. Woodland Lakes has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. My childhood years and now as an adult, my life is filled with these memories. I want my children to have the same chance as these memories as I want you to as well. So there you have it. It's a very broad stroke of who Becky Jane is, or Rebecca Jane. You may not know me well, but I hope that we can change that, and I am humbly requesting that you vote for me.
All right, next up, you guys wanna like rock, paper, scissors for it, or?
I'll go last.
Hey, what am I gonna say? Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm John Kimack, running for a second term. The year's 2015. My wife and I were looking for a weekend getaway. Woodland was not on the map at the time. I overheard a carpenter on a job talking about Woodland and how blighted it was. We were laughing about it being a meth capital of Washington County. I had to see that for myself. My wife and I took a ride out and were shocked by the way it seemed to be left living back in the 80s. We got lost and were trying to find our way out when we came across a for sale sign of a place that was calling my name. It was full of junk and in disrepair, and I convinced Rita that I could bring it back to life. The coming weeks, I noticed the same throughout Woodland, a diamond in the rough. We knew no one at Woodland, but quickly realized how friendly and welcoming the people were. What I found perplexing was the lack of community. There were small factions and groups, but community events seemed to be taboo. There seemed to be a lack of direction. Rather than just complain, I decided to get involved. I figured I could give back and donate my career skills to help move Woodland into the future. Found there was a tight grip on the politics and had a tough battle getting my foot in the door. I have no self-serving agenda other than to help create a safe, clean community for my children and grandchildren, and want the same for yours. My first term completed or in progress goals are as follows. Created a Woodland user-friendly website. Updated the office computer systems and software, installed motorized gate systems, installed security and surveillance systems throughout the development, created a real estate division and amnesty program, built the stage to bring back community events that build relationships. My goals for my second term: Emerald Lake needs repaired. I want to see Emerald Lake repaired. Update the guardhouse and a fast pass systems for owners. Create a full merchandise sales division. New bathhouse and laundromat at the development entrance. Relocate, rebuild the mailboxes. Handicap accessible boat docks and small boat rentals. Rental cabins for owners only. Negotiate the procedures with Potosi regarding real estate and taxes, and much more. Thank you for your support, and let's keep moving forward together.
Go get him, Craig.
Yeah, here comes my made-up speech.
It's the best one.
Sometimes.
That's right. That's right. Best.
Morning, folks. My name is Craig Kidman. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I happen to be the guy that's in charge of all the permits down here. Sorry, I haven't gotten to your place to get your permit removed. The stack is about this tall. It was about this tall when I started. So we're trying to get it done. I came down here Before the place had opened, one of my best friend's family bought into this place. So I've been coming down here since I was a little kid. I've seen everything that this place has to offer. I liked it so much that 14 years ago, I bought a piece of property, camped on it. Now I have a house across 3 lots. I own 14 lots down here. Not that I want to take over the place, I just like land. And I just like to see this place become something nice. It's moving in the right future. It's going in the right direction. I'd like to be a member of that and help everybody out, move forward. I'm an elevator constructor. Been doing that for 26 years. Been on my e-board for a year. I'm very involved in activities. Coming up, I have a group of people with myself. We're going to be putting structures in all the lakes, so that way the fish can actually multiply instead of having a pay lake like we have right now, where we throw fish in every year, you keep them, we never get any new fish, except for what comes out of the hatchery. So that's some of my goals. The other thing is I'm big into infrastructure. We need to do something around this place. I'm working with the board on that. Got some great ideas. That's all I have to say. I have to wing it, folks. I've been working out of town for a long time. Sorry about it. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you very much to the candidates. Let's see here. We do need some ballot counting volunteers from the audience. There's 1, 2. Who else we got? So I'm going to have you. I see Tommy Ackles in the back. Hi, Tommy Ackles in the back. So 3. So once. That's 3. Yeah. How many do we need? Minimum 6. 3 more. We're going to start auctioning stuff off here.
Come on, we need all the accountants to step up.
Hi, sorry. Call your name out as you raise your hand. There we go. Jeannie Meyer, Carla Brooks.
Be nice though.
Okay.
They all tell us, shoot 'em.
Is that 6? Yeah.
Somebody else with a leg.
Says it on mine.
Wouldn't it be nice if they could?
All right, so I think we're good there. Just so everybody is aware, the meeting is being recorded for posterity's sake. If you would like to speak to the community and the board, you can do so by signing up with Darlene, who has a sign-up sheet over there at the coffee bar.
You will be asked to come up to the
It's on the
podium to
podium.
speak,
Never mind.
rather than just yelling out from the crowd. We are recording, and you're being broadcast down at the stage, so all those people outside can hear you. So
No pressure.
please come up to the podium to speak.
No pressure. So, we've got some amendments that are being voted on. It did come up at one point that it's beneficial to kind of quickly review what those amendments are. So, the single entry exception. So there seems to be a little bit of confusion about that and what it is. Single entry exception. So in the event that an owner is not current on their assessments, but their place catches on fire and burns to the ground, we technically cannot tell them, you can't come in here and secure that property. There's a couple of reasons. There's obviously going to be insurance adjusters. There's probably going to be reports that need to be filed in some sort or another. This would give the office the ability to grant that person a single entry into the community without the board having to vote on it. So these are rare exceptions, basically. So they're time sensitive. So your cabin gets broken into, you're not paid up because you haven't been down here yet. Technically, we could say you're not paid up and you can't come in. Well, that's not a very neighborly thing to do, number one. Number two, it's really hard to enforce. So the general practice that we have had to this point is that the board would get together. Sometimes it's via phone call, sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's email, but that takes a while for everybody to get together, and it may be in the middle of the night. So as an owner, you would have to stand there at the gate for however many hours it takes for the board to get together and say, yes, it's okay for that person to come through the gate and secure their property. This yes vote would basically give the power to the office to make a single exception and say, yes, you can come in and secure your property. So that's the the watered down explanation of that one. The next one is the trustee right to proceed with immediate action. So currently we have a fine structure, and it's a very generic fine structure. So it's a one size fits all. And while that may seem reasonable for the most part, you have to look at each infraction individually. So what we're looking at is, by comparison, you have somebody who is vandalizing newly rebuilt bathhouses. As it sits right now, that could result in nothing more than a $50 fine. Well, that's the same fine we give to somebody's kid for doing donuts in a parking lot. The reality is that we'd rather give that kid a rake and say, go fix it, as opposed to now your parents have to pay $50. As it sits right now, we don't have that flexibility. A yes vote for this would give us that flexibility. Basically, punishment matches the crime. That gives the board the ability to go through individually and discuss these types of things, as opposed to just slapping the sticker on it and saying, that's what it is. Have a nice day. So that's the transparency aspect of that one. The dumpster violations, that is added language, basically. So what we're looking at is the misuse of the trash dumpsters. And this is, oddly enough, become a really interesting topic. So there's not a lot of guidance. We realize that. There has been some confusion as to what's supposed to go where to put your trash in this particular thing. It's probably more complicated than it needs to be at the moment, and we're going to work on that. But the issue that we've run into overarching is that we see a frequency of people bringing in outside trash. People who are rehabbing houses, or people who are rehabbing apartments, or just loading trucks up and they're coming down here and they're dumping it in the dumpsters, and that is incredibly cost prohibitive. The cost of hauling trash just in the nation, specifically our region, has increased exponentially. It's a big, big expense for the community. So this is one of the ways that we're trying to combat that. This would give us the opportunity to address those individuals who are bringing stuff in and dumping it in the dumpsters from outside. And then the last one, the Article XI, excuse me. So for rentals, there is some confusion there as well. We're not trying to stop individuals from renting their stuff. What we're trying to prevent is people enterprising out of the community. So there are places like Airbnb and VRBO and all these other camping lease sites where you can go on as just a regular individual and rent a cabin out in the middle of the woods. There are some privateers who would like to take portions of Woodland Lakes and make that a possibility. This gets in front of that. The issue that we run into is that we are, as a community, we're pretty closely knit, all things considered. We don't know everybody, not everybody knows each other, but we all know that we're here. This is going to open the door to basically the general public. It's no longer a private community if this goes through. So what you run into, people buying up all kinds of cabins, leasing them, and it would be plausible for somebody to be able to just plant somebody in the community who would sign folks in. And we don't have any rules against that at the moment, unfortunately. So also on the list to address, but not on this particular ballot. So a yes vote on that particular amendment would get us in front of this and prohibit people leasing these particular spots, campsites, cabins on VRBO and Airbnb. So tried to make that as easy, I guess, as I could for everybody. So with that being said, I hope that gives you a little bit more guidance as to what we're trying to do with these amendments. The reality is that a lot of these things are verbiage that we've had or some enforcement that we've had that we're just trying to realign. It's not a new thing, it's just us adding it where it's supposed to go. So, with that being said, we're going to get into the regular portions of the meeting. We're going to start with the approval of minutes, so can I get Scooter?
All right, here's the meetings from, minutes from the meeting October 3rd, 2020. Trustees present, Tracy Harris, Craig Kidman, Nick Carlisle, John Kimmick, Hazel Nisbet, Mike Williams, and Bob Weeder via Skype. Call to order. Tracy called the meeting to order at 10:01 and reported that the quorum had been met. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Announcements. Tracy announced Santa's workshop scheduled for Saturday, 11/28/2020. They will be following COVID guidelines and find out more information at the office and store. Tracy then asked the volunteers for ballot counters. Kathy Clements, Angel Payne, Sabine Ellebrecht, Ed Rubin, Tom Eccles, and Amy Simmons were selected for ballot counters. Amendments. Tracy Harris went over the proposed amendments. Article 3, Tracy expressed that Woodland Lakes needs the $12 road paving assessment to pass, explained that it was in place in the past, and when it was placed on a ballot for the spring property owners meeting, the language was just a little bit confusing. Article XXXI, this amendment is to raise holiday guest fee passes from $2 to $10. He then indicated that we had 1,733 holiday guests for a total income of $3,466. If we would have had the $10 in place, that would have been a total income of $17,330. Tracy went on to explain the increased cost due to the impact on our resources such as bathhouse, etc. This will help offset the costs. Article 1, Tracy explained the trustee resignation recall amendment. Approval of minutes. Mike Williams read the minutes from the June 13, 2020 property owners meeting. A motion was made from the floor to accept as read. It was seconded from the floor. The motion carried. Then Tracy announced that the meeting was being recorded. Financial report. Bob Weeder apologized for not being able to attend due to travel restrictions related to health problems. Bob explained that the profit and loss statement, while the statement appears we ended in the red for July, but in fact we did not end up in the red. In 2020, we ended up taking in $1,282,261. We also collected $154,724 from collections, which helped out quite a bit with the projects we completed of the year. You will also see the proposed budget for the 2021 fiscal year. At the time we created the budget, we already had collected 34% of the projected budget through prepayments from property owners. You will also find that the statements for the dedicated accounts. Bob explained that we will have only $5,000 left in road paving account, and while the road paving amendment is so important, Bob then asked if anyone from the floor would like to make a motion to accept the budget. Rebecca Jane made a motion to accept the 2021 budget. A property owner seconded the motion. All in favor, motion carried. Nick pointed out that Tracy had only gotten a motion and a second on the approval of the June 2020 minutes. Tracy then asked all the yeas and all the nays. All in favor, motion to approve the minutes from the June 13th, 2020 property owners meeting minutes were carried. Maintenance report. Excuse me. Mike stated that there has been new speed limit signs placed throughout the development. We have finished with hot patch and potholes for the year. Mike indicated that grading and ditches have been worked on in various areas. In the upcoming weeks, we'll be working on the exterior of the community center, winterizing the pool, and installing a few culvert pipes. Introduction. Tracy introduced Ron Jones and John Geesley at the new Woodland Lake security team, and Scott Bacon as the new property manager. The Lake and Fish report. Hazel first mentioned that the gate staff at Woodland Lakes works very hard for the community, and they are often mistreated by some property owners. She asked that the property owners please treat our Woodland Lakes employees with respect and kindness. Hazel then announced that the lift station at Crystal Lake is complete. We will have fish stocked in February or March. There have been problems with the aerators. They are being addressed and she would like for Emerald to be addressed next. Property owner questions, comments. Property owner asked about getting speed bumps on Sioux as he believes it to be a problem area. Property owner thanked everyone who helped and donated for the Pan for Gold for the kids. She also indicated that she would like to start up a free library at her house out of her elephant camper. Property owner asked about building lots and the restrictions. The prior owner of his building lot is a friend of his, and when his friend owned them, they could camp on them. There wasn't an issue until he purchased the lots from him. John attempted to answer the question wherein the board has attempted to fix the situation a couple times with no available. The trustees have decided to not to attempt to enforce the building lot rule with respect to campers at this time, as they have been ignored in the past. They will revisit the topic. He then asked if there were to bring out a camper and hang a construction sign on it to stay in his camper for a period, he would be improving his lot. Craig offered that in the past, property owners were allowed to stay in the campers while their houses were built, and that would only be allowed to do for the length of the permits, which were good for only 6 months. Craig suggested that the current board allow the same. Craig offered for the property owner to fill out a permit and ask for a variance for the same. A property owner expressed concern with the number of children riding around on toys without helmets on. A property owner expressed her concerns with adults riding on toys with children with beers in their hands. A property owner questioned what it is that security can actually do. The board indicated that security can hand out citations, and it is up to the board as to whether to issue a warning or fine. They also clarified that these are Woodland Lakes citations. The property owner then asked if Emerald Lake is leaking again. Nick informed the property owner that the board has met with engineers about the condition of Emerald Lake, and they are in the process of following their recommendations. This will take time and money, but it is in process. Property owner wanted to offer a huge thank you to everyone in Woodland Lakes that puts on the events for children. She also wanted to thank Kristen Harris for the calendars and whomever is working on drawing up the new maps. She indicated that she believes that this board is doing a wonderful job, and to thank all the owners for showing up to the meetings. Property owner brought up the hot water issues at Woodland Bathhouse. Mike informed them that the maintenance is in the process of replacing water heaters at the bathhouse. Meeting adjourned at 10:43 a.m.
All right. Thank you, Scooter. This is the one that they have to approve. So I need an approval of minutes from the floor. Make a motion. Okay.
Who was that? You got
Who
a
was
board
it?
name.
What's your name?
There were several of them. Don't everybody speak up at once. Perfect. Did you get it? All right. All in favor of the approval of October minutes? Any nays? Awesome. Approved. All right. Bobby, financial report. Take it away.
Okay, well, thank you for coming. A couple of little small things first. I would like to thank all the volunteers that are outside cooking for everybody, hot dogs and hamburgers for your pleasure. I'd like to thank them, and I would like to thank Tom and Angie Eccles for donating the donuts. It's something we didn't have to buy. So, you will find in your packets, there is a profit and loss statement for 2020. 2020, as we know, that year sucked. So, for a lot of reasons. Sorry, but that's what it was. However, in that year, watching what we're doing, the new people that are coming in, we were able, over 19, we were able to bring in almost an extra $250,000. Okay? So we're doing something right.
There you go.
Now, even though some people think, you got all these new people coming in, that's why expenses are going up. You always lose a certain amount of people every year. They die, they can't come out no more, they can't afford it no more. So we always lose some. We always, Darlene and I, when we started laying out the financials, we knew that that's what's called the doubtful pays. So our goal was to narrow that. By narrowing that, we got more people to come out. You know, with the projects that the board put together and the events, became a fun place, getting the place cleaned up, more people showing up, more people are paying, so we have money to do things, so which really helps a whole lot. You will notice in the financial also, in the budget for that year, we ended up the year with $9,926. So Darlene was watching the calculator real close towards the end of the year. Now, did we get into some of our other money? Yes, we did. But already this year, we were able to put money back in to what we call our reserve account. If you look on the financials that we hand out every meeting, you'll see all the bank accounts. One of the bank accounts helps cover the dedicated account that we call for reserve. That's our money that we've got for emergencies, or if something just goes sideways, we know we've got that money. So we were able to put money back into that this year already to help keep that fund up, which is really important that we do, because we've got that back up to over $245,000. So then also for the year that's in your packet, you're going to notice there is a statement we have to do by the indentures, a yearly audit. So we hire an outside company to do that. That's CHP. They come in. You can find it on the report. This audit cost us $5,000. So it's not cheap, but it's a 14-page report that they go through, and they look at everything of our budget or our books and our spending, where we're spending the money, and if we're spending the money where we're supposed to, and how much we say we're spending. So with the new bookkeeping system that we're able to put in with our new QuickBooks, Darlene and the staff can stay on top of that and really log everything, every penny we spend of what category goes to. So now for this next year, the board can sit and make even a better budget for next year because we know exactly what we spent, and we'll project what we're going to spend and project what projects we want to try to get done. We want to get into the habit of budgeting those projects and not the last minute thing. Oh, let's go do this. Bob, come up with the money. So we're not doing that anymore. We're gonna budget it. So, but if
Look at John.
so, if you will take time to read the letter of the audit from CHP, it is very informative. It's very long, so I'm not going to try to read it. But they are a CPA firm that they do this type of work, so we thank them for their service. You will notice on your dedicated account sheet that was in there, in your budget, that was for the year of 20. It's going to show that we ended up with, like, at all the way over to the right in the bottom, it's going to show that we ended up with a dedicated of $307,000. What that is, even though we say we only had $9,000 left or $10,000 left, that was in our general fund. There's all these different buckets that we pay bills out of. Our general fund is what makes payroll, pays for the lights, pays for the insurance, pays for the operation of the business. That's what that money's for. We always make sure we keep our dedicated funds separate, and you can account for that also in our bank statements to show the different accounts, and you can see how we always make sure that's covered for that. In that dedicated fund, we call it a dedicated fund for our reserves, just so we know we just don't arbitrarily spend it. So that's also in there. But you can look across there for all the different accounts of what we wound up spending for the year. And also in there, there's also the budget items of everything. There's an expense in there, or it shows the expense on every line item, what we spent for 2020. So, you know, when you run a big engine, it takes a lot of diesel. So that's what we need right now. We do have, we're thankful we did get it passed for the road improvement for pavement, because we're starting to see some potholes that we don't appreciate. So, but at least with that money coming in, where the guys can get started, we've been able to also develop a better maintenance staff. Scott Bacon's done a great job on that, and putting together some people, and he come with the experience to be able to lay everybody out in the right job. So we're very impressed with that, how we're building that. Darlene with the office staff, with her crew, we've got a good solid base there of what we've got going. And now we also have our security staff. So we have stepped up our payroll. You know, we have 2 full-time people on security. So, and we're looking this year at expanding that some more, to getting a deputy on board. So, you know, it just takes a lot of diesel to run a big rig, but we need to do that to keep this place going right, clean it up. So that's the bottom line for all of us. You will notice on the expense reports too, 2 things I'm going to keep bringing up are trash is more than doubled. What you see on here right here, our bulk trash has more than doubled. So what that's telling us is more people are cleaning lots up because of how much they're taking out. Because we pay for the volume of that. Also our other waste is really one high. So, and I think that one high because I think of COVID. I think more people were coming out here, staying out here, trying to get away from the city, trying to get away from it all. And so I think that's why that went up. But those are 2 items the board are having to watch really close because, boy, that's going to play havoc on our budget really quick. So we're making plans for that. So other than that, that's all I got.
Super. Thank you, Bob. All right. Next up, maintenance report. Scooter, take it away.
Maintenance, what they're working on currently is finishing up Delago and Greystone. We're renovating both of those. The projected date to have those open is at the end of April, beginning of May. Ran into some issues on getting inventory, which apparently that's a lot of all around. So, and we will be painting and doing the floors properly this time. So hopefully everybody will enjoy that. So bear with us. Like I said, at the end of April, beginning of May, we should have those open. We've been cleaning and doing some repair on the pool. They'll be working on getting that open in the next couple of months. Working on some ditches, maintenance requests, and grass cutting has already started this year, so working on that also. Thank you.
Thank you, Scooter. All right. Next up will be the Lake and Fish Report. Hazel, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to let you know that the fountain at Woodland Lakes is not running right now. We had to order a part for it. As soon as it comes in, it will be running. The second thing I wanted to let you know is that our property manager wanted to attempt to fix Emerald. It didn't work, so, well, he still wants to try more, but we called in the engineer, a professional engineer. We will let you know how that goes, and as it progresses, we'll let everyone know what's going on. We are going to fix Emerald. It's going to be done. And that's pretty much all I have for right now. If anybody has any questions, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Hazel. All right, at this time, we are going to open the floor up for property owner comments and questions. Those who have signed up, feel free to come on up. Oh, hey, look, I got pieces of paper. All right, Lisa, come on up. You'll do just fine.
Nice hair today.
Do what?
Nice hair.
Leave me alone. Hi, I'm Lisa Lurch. We do a fundraiser, as saying we, FTD. We try to do several fundraisers every year, and it's to help raise money for the entertainment. We got fans in the pavilions. Last year we did a cornhole tournament, and to purchase, which we have, are the canopies to put over the kids' playground. Now, it's not up due to maintenance being backlogged? Is that the way it is?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and, anyone that's on social media, we're going to put out a request for contractors to see if anyone, because we have the money, it's the problem, the maintenance is just so
Right.
overwhelmed right now.
Well, I was just going to see if maybe people with kids and whoever would
Well,
want to
it's a-
volunteer to
yeah,
save
but
us
We
money.
got to set big poles. I mean, it's not
Right.
just something anybody can do. So we are going to look into getting a contract. I mean, we could have volunteers for a lot of the finish work, but the main setting of those poles,
Get somebody else out and
25
do
feet
it.
in the air, I don't think would work real well with volunteer work. But I'm sure we'll have some contractors out there that would love to just jump in and help us out and, and get paid, obviously, but we will be asking for that. The only requirements that we put into SOP a couple of years ago were any contractors working for Woodland Lakes must have insurance. So that would be the only stipulation, so.
Okay,
Thank you.
well, I just didn't want all of our work to.
No, we're on.
We
mean,
talk
just
about
to
it
get
quite a
the
bit.
benefits
I've got
out
that
there.
money
We do.
earmarked, so it's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. All right, Stephen, come on up.
How's everybody doing today? I just had a couple questions and a couple comments. I don't know, a lot of you know me, a lot of you don't. My name is Stephen Theris. I've owned property down here for about 5 years. Been coming down here for about 25. I just had a couple comments as to my property was bought on back taxes that I did not know I owed, which was $300 and something. Anyway, besides that, I'm wondering why John Kimmack, when I was no longer a property owner, you specifically denied me access to come in and get my property. Strict orders from you to Michaela, Danielle, and Simone. I was denied access to come in and get my personal property out. Why is that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, that's false information because I don't have the authority to just unilaterally do that, to ban you. But if you're no longer a property owner, I would assume the gate followed protocol as to entry of Woodland Lakes. We don't just allow non-owners entry into Woodland Lakes. It's just the rules. As far as your circumstances and such, that's between you and whoever. Woodland Lakes does not get involved in personal disputes
Understand.
or surveys or any of that kind of stuff. So,
Okay.
So what you were told about me is false information, and you can take that for what
So
it's
you're telling me
worth.
that 10 people that told me there was specific
Yeah.
orders from you were lying?
Now, I may have got a call asking there's a non-owner that wants to come in. Well, of course, any of us trustees would say, no, they can't. Not without being signed in by
But then
someone.
if I have 10 or 15 other people that have also sold their property that still have stickers, still get to come in until September, you let them in.
Yeah, that's not my purview.
What do you mean it's not your
I
purview?
don't-
You mean it's not your call?
I don't watch stickers and who comes and goes. I'm a
Yeah, you do.
trustee. Yeah, well,
Okay. Okay.
that's the gate.
Okay. So, secondly, as far as guest passes go, I was signed in after that happened, and I was refused to let in get in my property. I was on a guest pass. My guest pass expired at midnight. I had to come back at 1:30. I got back here, and I was denied access again at 12 for an hour and a half or whatever it was. Meanwhile, though, I was a new property owner because I went and bought another lot, and I had a receipt in my hand, but I was denied access because they didn't have the deed yet, because the collector didn't send it up here yet. So I was on a guest pass. My guest pass expired at midnight. I got back here at 1:30, and they denied me access. Yet, as I was leaving and turned around, I believe one of the security called you, and I turned around going out. I passed somebody else coming in that was on the exact same guest pass with the exact same people that signed it in for them, expired at midnight, and they were allowed in. So now it's the gatekeeper and security's decision on who gets in on expired guest passes, or what?
No, should be the protocol. It's like you get pulled over by the police officer and your license expired the day before. Do they say, well, we'll let you go because, I don't know who makes these decisions, but everyone should follow the same protocol and procedures for anyone. So
I believe that's
can't
true.
answer that because I wasn't
I mean,
involved.
it seems to me that there's a lot of stuff, a lot of favoritism going on in here.
No,
that-
there's not.
There's
You
not?
won't find that at all.
Come on. Okay, well, that's what you can say that, but I see it with my own two eyes. As far as, I had some comments about Emerald Lake draining, Emerald Lake leaking.
Am I right?
I was at the end of Emerald Lake yesterday working, and I was dug a hole, and there is literally water down on canyon. You dig a foot deep, just to give you guys information, and fills up with water right there in the canyon down on one of the lots. So if you want to look into that, it's down there. Let's see. And what exactly is going on with Greystone Bathhouse? I was wondering.
They're renovating it, putting all new fixtures, painting, new counters, sinks,
Everything,
all that stuff.
new
yeah.
plumbing or what?
New plumbing,
Oh,
we
new
changed
plumbing.
over to PEX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I looked at the financials for February, and I looked over all of them, and just on payroll alone, payroll was $41,000 in February. And what was our net profit? 32. So we went in the hole, that, do the math, in just February, correct? Like, it was 32, February was 32, and,
We don't take much in the winter.
Yeah, that's a,
We get
Okay.
all of our
That's-
assessments at the beginning of the year. So even though that's a monthly accounting.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be in the hole in February because we only took in probably,
32,000.
right, yeah.
And payroll was 41, okay. But I'm just saying, just for like, an example, that's almost $10,000 in the hole, you know, just on payroll.
600,000 in September.
Sure, yeah, right. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying payroll just seems super high, $41,000. When I see 5 guys down at Greystone, 3 of them standing there doing nothing, and 1 guy running in and out. And then none of the bathhouses are open. And then there's a guy coming up and down the road grading for 2 hours, grading the road, doing absolutely nothing on a tractor, literally doing nothing. He did nothing. And another guy on a big steamroller doing nothing up and down the road for 2 hours, same road. When Foothills is a mud bog.
It's a tough
You know,
job.
I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the shed, but I've got 2 degrees. I've got 5 years of college. I've got building maintenance technology degree. I've got HVAC degrees. I'm EPA certified. I'm all that, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes down to it. I could plumb Greystone bathhouse out by myself in probably a day. So it doesn't make sense to me how we're spending $41,000 on payroll in a month when we got guys and nothing's getting done. There's potholes out there. My tailgate literally bounced out of my trailer on a pothole and came off my trailer from potholes. Why can't we get 2 guys with 100 bags of cold patch in the back of the truck every spring and dumping them out and tamping them down? There's bad potholes out there. I mean, everywhere.
Did you fill out a maintenance request for that?
No.
Do that.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah,
good
I'm just
place to
asking
start.
questions. I'm just wondering.
I think you're headed on the right path. But that's the process. So
Okay.
absolutely, I'm interested in hearing what you got to say, but I'm also interested in hearing your solutions too.
Sure.
And that's the first step.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. All right. Unless there's anybody else. Anybody else there now? Nope. All right. Oh.
I want to thank people who are on the board, who will be on the board.
I agree. Nick Carlisle, today is your last day. We really appreciate all you do for us, Nick. It's a big deal. We'll be sad to see you go. Let's see if I can get you to cry. Can't get you to cry? Not even a little bit?
I'll still be involved.
All right, Stephanie Bean, come on up.
Hi, good morning. I have a couple of questions about the P&L that was handed out at last month's meeting. There was a charge on there, and if I'm not mistaken, it was account 52040 under entertainment expenses for $5,000. Can anybody explain what that was?
Fireworks.
Deposit on the fireworks? Okay. So if that was under entertainment expenses, why did it then come out of the general account?
We transfer from general into entertainment as needed. Entertainment is not a dedicated account.
Okay, so we take $5,000 a month out of that for fireworks? Just as needed. For fireworks?
For whatever the entertainment account needs.
Okay. And there was also 4 different charges on there for $7.58.
for what?
That's my
Not me, for
question.
entertainment?
No. If you look on the,
I don't have February.
I didn't bring last year.
you don't
last
have
month.
February's?
I mean, it's for $7.50?
$7.58. There were 4 charges
Mm-hmm.
in various different categories.
Okay.
But then they weren't tallied up at the bottom.
We'd have to pull that up in QuickBooks to see exactly what those
Do you need the
charges were.
printout from last month? Because I have
I mean, we
that.
have it, but she would still have to get in the computer and pull it up to tell you what it went for. Because that's just a general report.
February. There you go.
Aaron.
There's February.
Grab Mike and get that for me, please.
But that's a general report. It's not going to show you maybe what the check was written for. We
Right,
have to
my
be-
point though
we have
is
to be in
that
the
it
office and
wasn't
see that.
taken out of the accounts, but it was added onto the P&L. Or I'm sorry, it was deducted from the accounts, but it was not added onto the P&L. My point is that means that there's an accounting issue, correct?
don't see anything for $7.50.
Can we just get it back to her? Or?
Yeah, well, you know, we can
receipts.
we can go up to the office and we can pull it up and tell you what it was for, you know,
Okay.
and how it was accounted for.
I'm just questioning a couple of the
You know what I mean?
discrepancies that were on the report.
So, but I don't see anything in this report that shows $7.50.
58 cents.
$7.58. I don't see.
I'd like to question why you're here. Aren't you suing all these owners? Don't you have a TRO, temporary restraining order, against Woodland Lake
Would you like to
Trusteeship
discuss that?
Incorporated,
Let's-
including all the representatives?
Let's discuss that. Let's discuss that, shall we? The reason that we had to get a temporary restraining order is because of the fact that my dogs got out. Yes, my dogs got out. I admit that. Since then, we have put a fence around our porch. We have double fenced their kennel. We have put firewood double stacked on the outside of their kennel. They have not gotten out since. However, I am getting penalized for that, getting fined, getting banned from all common grounds, and yet, no offense, and I don't mean to throw you under the bus, I'm so sorry. I've got her dogs, the office manager's dogs, on my lot 3 different times, and her coming over and looking for them. We've got Hazel's dog, who just charged a small child on Woodland Playground.
And we can't, do we have pictures of that? Because
you have
my
pictures
dog
of my
is
dogs?
brown like her dogs.
Do you have
Excuse
pictures
me.
of my dogs?
Ma'am, we do have pictures of your dogs. We have
Really?
owners.
Because I pulled up several
Owners.
pictures on Facebook, and I thought they were my dogs, and then, oh my God, they were before I was even an owner here.
My dog wears.
So see, I own my problems. I own when my dogs get out, but it doesn't seem like anybody else does.
All right, we're
That
not
to
gonna
me seems like an
we're not gonna have
integrity
this
issue.
trial
So,
here.
no, he brought up
It's
the
not just
restraining order.
dogs. You know
He brought
that.
up the
so.
restraining order. Let's talk about that.
Well, we're,
okay? Because then we started
You're
getting
suing
banned
us, so
from
our lawyer
all common
doesn't want
grounds.
us
We're not
talking
suing for
about
money
this.
at this point. We're suing for our rights. So it's not costing any of us money. However, let's talk about this restraining order because then they banned us from all common grounds for doing the same thing everybody else does. Then they started charging us $200 every time we get water. I apologize. They chased us around
Point of
turning
order.
off the water for everybody.
Point of order.
Then at that point, they banned my minor child from coming
Ms.
in.
Bean, I'm calling you to point
People
of
can
order.
get up and walk out, but he brought it up. Let's discuss it, shall we?
We can't. We can't
You can
legally
discuss it on
discuss
Facebook. John Kimmick brings it up on Facebook all the
I
time,
don't
but
have
they,
any
they
control
blocked
over
me from
John
the
Kimmick.
owner's page because of that. And quite frankly, if we were wrong, we wouldn't be winning this one. But the restraining order got approved. Why is that?
We've
Because
been
what you
asking
guys are
ourselves
doing
the
is
same
wrong.
question.
And
However,
John, just so you
we
know,
cannot
in regards to
discuss
what
this
Aaron
any
said
further.
about not letting people in, when we came to sign him in, we were told it was on John Kimmick's orders to let everybody know not to get messed up in a civil matter. So it was your call not to allow him in. You just
don't
said it was not
understand.
your call. You lied.
No, I did not lie, and I'm not going to argue with you. If I get a generic call that a non-owner wants to come in, I will answer no, they can't come in. I don't put names with faces. You can ask anybody on this board or anybody in this audience. I do not play favorites. You don't have a face or a name when I'm asked a question on something like that. You are just a number.
That's not exactly accurate.
Okay.
But it's really sad that everybody else, the owners, the other owners.
Comments or questions will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Will only be recognized when using the microphone. Voting changes must be initialed to be counted. If not initialed, they will not be counted.
I'm pretty sure the guy who posted on Facebook about Hazel's dog charging his granddaughter could identify that dog. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to ban Hazel?
I'm not going to get into it with you.
Are you going to ban
3 minutes
Darlene?
has expired.
Are you going to ban Darlene?
Are
Are you
done?
going to ban Chevy's owner? Are you going to ban Mike and Kathy with all their chihuahuas?
Make a complaint at the office with pictorial evidence or video. Thank you.
All right.
That's why we have a lawsuit.
Indeed. Did she split?
She's right there.
Angie Eccles
I think mine.
to the front. Good luck following that up, dear. Thank
Hi,
you for
I'm
your
Angie
questions and
Eccles.
comments.
There's a lot of faces I've never met, but I just want to take the last couple minutes of this meeting to sincerely thank this board, this community, and everything that has come together in this
Thank you,
last
Darren.
3 years. Thank you for all your hours, all of your care, your commitment, and the time that you spend away from your family in our happy place. Thank you for making this a better place. Let's have a great day.
Thank you, Angie Eccles.
Let them know there's food out there.
There is food outside. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Go get some lunch. Go watch Cowboy. He's getting ready to go on stage and play some music for you. And let's have a good day.